Hello, good to see you. One of the things I also wanted to introduce you to was this idea called Classcraft. Now, again, Classcraft was one that came up in the research I've been doing with regards to gamification in education and instructional design. And this is kind of neat. This is a bit different from the Nearpods and the Kahoots and the quizzes, etc. It's an app that's online, so it's app.classcraft.com. Now, there's quite a lot of setup that you can do with it, and yes, there are paid elements with it, which we can discuss in just a second. So what you do is you can create your classes. Now, one of the neat things about this is that it actually interacts with Google Classroom, so it can automatically upload your class from Google Classroom. So that's a very handy feature. All right, so you set up your classes, just clicking on New Class here. All right, what is the class name? What are the settings for it? All right, and some advanced options there, and it will create that class for you. Now, then within there, the functionalities that you've got, you can edit the general information about your classes, you can distribute codes for the class to other learners, you can print QR codes so that they can jump in and join the particular class, and you can also create little certificates for the learners, which I'm going to get to here. So if we find our class, so let's have a look at this one. I've just done a general class here. This is for my IB Economics learners. You'll notice it has this at the bottom, class progression and collaboration, and this is points that they're earning as a class. So if we were to select all the students and choose to give them some points, right, these are points positive reinforcement behaviors that we set up ahead of time where we can choose whatever positive behavior we want. Here we go, add another reward. How many points is it worth? And then add that into the system and reward them for it. So it might be that they're working together to complete a group goal, or considering others, being positive, hardworking, we'll give them that. All right, and here you'll see that it is adding to the class collaboration total. So what this particular platform does is it creates like a fantasy role play sort of environment where your learners are in this environment. So if we find a learner, so let's find Abu, let's view Abu's profile. So this is what Abu sees. Abu has an avatar, he has his background which can be changed, he can use his points to buy extra weapons or colors or animals, right, etc. Depending on how you set it up, you can actually give them extra powers, so you can allow them to eat in class, and it just depends on what it is that you're wanting the learner to be able to achieve. It will record badges, the levels that they're on. There's the QR code, right? So then you can highlight specific behavior for that particular learner through scanning the QR code. Now, there is quite a lot within this, and so we're just going to have a bit of a look here. So have a look at class tools. All right, so here you can pick a random student. So it sets it up, they've got an avatar, the avatar then goes into missions, into quests, and you can then decide how what's going to happen within those quests. So there are, as said, some paid versions here. All right, so this might be a random picker. All right, so who's it going to pick? It's going to pick a player or a team. So the random person picked is Yarn. All right, and what will happen, right, is we can then say, yes, they've been very positive and hardworking, or we might want to modify the points or create custom behaviors. Okay, so that gives you some idea about the different class tools. What's the volume like in the class? Here's some review. Okay, a review, who will answer the questions. So let's start a review. Right, teacher's going to ask you a question, pay attention, and in this, right, they actually battle against a little robot here, okay, called Elders All Reliable, and by answering the questions is how they fight these particular virtual creatures within there. Okay, you can allow them to message each other and have conversations in there. You can also, in theory, message the parents. It is quite a significant program, and there is a lot within it. So here are the quests. This is probably the thing that you were most interested in. So you can have different environments for your quests, as you see. You personally have to create the quests. So, and again, with the free version, you have a limited number of activities that you can do within it, but you can set it all up. So add in a particular objective, whatever the objective is. I've run out of objectives, so I can't add more. You can edit you have questions, and the questions can be Google Forms questions. So surveys, right? They can be Google Docs, right, with questions on them that then get added, right? And the idea is they complete the task and then they move on to the next challenge, and then they move on to the next one until they reach the end of their quest. So that's what quests look like, and you design the whole thing. Where you can edit the quest here, hide the quest, you make it available for more than one class, who you're going to assign it to. There is quite a lot here within it. Right? So the analytics will show you what's been happening. You can have individual student overviews as well, but that comes as part of the paid version. Right? Here's my team settings in here. I can add particular teams, parents I can put in there, invite the different parents. I can have co-teachers to help. Here's the game settings with regards to behaviors. These can all be edited. The powers that they might have, again, they can be edited. All right, and there is more within it. There are sounds. You can add and change sounds. Okay, now the quests take a while to set up, and then you need to push that through to the individual class, and then they work through it. And if it's like a Google survey, then the answers can be set to it. So it can be multiple choice questions, for example, with the answers, and then they can actually get instant feedback on their answers to that, and then they can move forward. Some people have used this for what we call PSD, or personal social development, and so it's learning about life skills, etc. Then it's a quest to develop life skills. It's very collaborative. Right, they have to work with each other. Right, there's the avatar idea, and you're able to upgrade, right, the avatars. Okay, there's some notifications in there that can turn up. Right. Now you've got boss battles, etc., which can happen when you end up in the paid version. But if I just go back home, right, and in my library, here it is, sorry, back home. So this whole program does take a long time to set up per class. So you'd want to do it for a unit, potentially, of work, and have an extended period of time where they're working through it, working with it. It is you might want to buy the premium version. As you saw, mine wasn't the premium version. So in here, where there were students, right, and here this class progression thing, if we click on that, you'll get to see what else there is. Okay, so this is the introduction phase back here. Okay, where you set it up. There are your points. There are your behaviors. There's the student names. Okay, then there are videos that help you figure out how to do the different activities. These are different activities in here. Right, the exploration page here, again, video in here that's possible. There's your characters, right, that could be unlocked. You can set up a school store where they buy things through it. There's the messaging, there's your quests in there. Now collaboration, this is the one where they're able to work with each other. So creating their classes, their powers, there's teams that they can work on. And again, extra things that can be given as activities for them to do. Now this here is one that is locked currently because it is part of the premium package, so you need to pay extra money for this, but this will enable you to get more badges and rewards and higher level rewards for the learners. You'd be able to change their powers a bit more, and there's a few other activities here, like grade converters, etc., things that can be done. So there is quite a lot within this environment, but as said, it does take a bit of setup, but once you've got it there, you can potentially just add more quests to it. The quests themselves take a while to build, but if you're working on this as a team, it might be that your team builds them. Okay, that might be that there's a specific learning objective that you have in mind, and that's the end of the quiz. That's the end of the quest. It is one that you do wonder, and I did as well, whether the learners are all going to take to it with the avatars, etc. I've got to say that my students did enjoy the avatars idea. They did enjoy working with the different characters. Okay, they enjoyed, let's see the profile. All right, they enjoyed the avatars. There's the sounds in the background. All right, they did enjoy trying to develop them using their skills and their points that they had. All right. So if you are interested in this, please have a go. It is a lot of fun trying to set it up and trying to work your way through it. But some learners are really going to take to this. It is very fantasy based. It is much more along the lines of that sort of role play Dungeons and Dragons-esque video game that you would have seen all those years ago. So it is perhaps more akin to game-based learning than some other strategies that we might see, but it does take quite a lot of setup and then management as you go through. All right, thank you team. Hey, Corneda, have a great day.